What's up, everybody? Well, I got another Asus Ally gameplay video for you guys today, and today we're gonna have a look at Alan Wake 2 again, because now I figured out how to run it with some sleuthing and some help. So basically all you have to do is put your GPU memory to auto. And for those of you who don't know how to do that, real quick before I jump into the game, I'll show you guys how to do that real quick. Now me, I normally keep it on 6 because at the settings you have to play games on the Ally, you're almost never gonna need more than 10 gigs of RAM, and that's what you're left with if the game uses up all 6 gigs of that VRAM. Now I'm pretty sure the way it works is it's just allocating that, so just because you set it at 6 doesn't mean you're instantly just limited to 10 gigs of RAM right in there. I don't think that's how it works. But with auto, you know, it just kind of figures it out for itself. But the reason I don't leave it on auto is other games have told me I don't have enough VRAM to start. So there is no flawless solution to this. So that is why I'm going to put it on auto for this game, and then I'm probably going to put it back to 6 gig. But why don't we really quickly hook this guy up to the capture computer real quick, as long as it will cooperate anyway, and I will show you guys how I was able to get this game started.
Okay, real quick, I just want to show people who didn't know how to do this, but this is how you change the VRAM on this thing. I just changed that thing to desktop so you guys could, or so I could use the mouse while having the screen turned off because it's being hooked up to whatchamacallit, my capture computer. But anyway, you come over here. Oop, went too far, come down to settings, and then go to operating mode. Give that a click. Go all the way down to GPU settings. And then I've already got it on auto, but I used to have it on 6 gigs. And that was giving me that error where I couldn't play the game because I needed 16 gigs of RAM. So once I put it to auto, it seems to work, and actually work way better than I was expecting. But anyway, why don't we go ahead and hop on into the game now. Now, you will get this message upon trying to launch the game. Now, it sounds scary at first, but it's just saying it doesn't have enough VRAM, but on auto, it can give it as much VRAM as it needs. So, shouldn't have to worry about that. And as far as my testing goes, I didn't have any crashes or whatever. So just hit that, and then it's time to get into the game. So here are the settings we're going to go with here. We're going to do a base resolution of 1080p first, but pretty much no matter what, you really need FSR. I mean, 720p is about the only one you can sort of get away without it, but you still drop you drop under 30 quite a bit if you do that. So that's why I went with these settings. Now, maybe I could have turned 1 or 2 up to medium, but I was already getting pretty poor FPS, so I didn't want to push my luck. Anyway, you'll see what I mean. So, here we are, and as you can see, we're just a little under 30 FPS, but we do drop all the way down to 25 sometimes. Even 24, I think I saw at one point during my recordings here. 25 might have been the lowest, though, but I could have sworn I saw a 24 at one point.
I should take a look at that map.
To some people, this is still completely playable, so I still wanted to show how this ran for a little while. Me, I would like to at least have a 30 FPS experience, which is possible.
Could be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
But we'll get to that later.
Hey, over here.
Why the heck do you both have to watch a dead guy for safety? What's he gonna do? I mean, unless this is one of those games where you can come to life and become a freaking zombie.
Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over.
I was on the wrong side.
You're half right.
Yeah, just chilling at 25, 26 here.
Saga Anderson. I'll
try to get through this quick. You
Seems
can
you
skip
already know my partner.
once you get
Alex
to a certain
Casey.
point.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am.
There we go.
What
Because
can
we
you
don't
tell
need
us
to
about
just
the
talk
crime
the whole time.
scene? Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, couple out of towner.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
All right, let's just get this out of the way real quick. Obviously, if I was playing this for real, I wouldn't skip through all this and
facts
would
are on
actually
board.
try, but I just
Everything
want
we
to
know
get you
about
guys
the
some
previous
footage
murders.
here. And hey, at least in
Worth
here you
taking
get
another
like
look.
over 30 FPS, but I mean, we're basically staring at a wall. with some pictures and some letters on it, so not exactly super high GPU content there.
I see you're
All right, anyway,
already
now we can
hard
get
at
out of
work,
that,
Anderson.
drop back down to our 20 to
Close to
30
cracking it.
FPS.
We're just getting
Well,
started.
almost always in the 20s.
Let's
We
head down
very
the hill to
rarely
the
hit
crime
30.
scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Real funny, Anderson.
What do you mean, man? It's a hoot. A hoot and a half.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old.
I'm not gonna lie, the first time he got down, I thought he was gonna like sprain his ankle or something. But no, he seemed to get down just fine.
Fucking nature.
Yeah, this guy doesn't like the nature.
There's too much sky.
Anyway, though, this is a pretty good stopping point, so why don't we go ahead and move along? Now we're gonna drop it down to 900p base resolution, but that drops it down to 600p apparently. And we're basically gonna keep the same settings we had before, because these are pretty much the minimum you can run. I mean, you can turn those other things completely off, but it didn't really affect the FPS much, so I turned them back on. But anyway, let's get into the game and we'll see how this one does. Well, alright now,
I'll
guys,
check out
let's
that
do
map.
some 900p here. And I know it's the same exact thing I just did, but I figured that way we could actually, you know,
Before we get
do apples to apples comparison here. Just run the same path we just did over and over again here. And at least this one's a lot more playable. It doesn't always stay above 30, but it's a lot closer and does a lot better job than 1080p
I
did.
think I hear someone.
I'm not walking all the way back
Could
down.
be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
Hey, over here. Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right.
Let's see, now we're around 28 to 30 here
Anderson.
instead of being at 25 like we were at 1080p. So
Saga Anderson.
for a
I'll
lot
be
of
leading
people,
this
this one
case.
would be probably
Seems
fine.
you already know my partner.
It's
Alex
close
Casey.
enough to 30. Now, I could be wrong, but I
Sorry
swear there
about
was still
that,
some
ma'am.
spots where it got down to like
I'm
26. But we'll
What can
see.
you tell us about the crime
Let's
scene?
just skip through this nonsense first.
I was...
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, couple out-of-towners.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just...
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly. The facts are on the board.
All right, let's get through this real quick.
Everything we know.
Like I said
about the
before, if I was
previous
playing this for
murders.
real right now, I would obviously pay attention and try
Worth
to do
taking
this
another
correctly,
look.
but I just want to get you guys some actual footage, and there's no way to skip this, or I would. If there was just a giant skip this button, I would absolutely hit that right now.
I
All right,
see
there we
you're
go. Now we
already
can get out.
hard at work, Anderson.
All right, back
Close to
down to
cracking
our
it.
little
We're just
dusty
getting
trail
started.
here.
Let's head down the hill to the crime scene.
But see what I mean? It kind of hangs out right at around 30. Drops down a little bit
Hey,
here and there
Casey.
to like 28,
You
29.
putting me in charge. Why now?
So I feel like most people would probably be okay with this, but
Better
me, I would decide to
detective
go
than
with
I
the
am. Cracked cases
720p
that had the rest of us baffled.
option
I don't want to
with
slow you
FSR.
down.
Are you thinking of retiring?
That's the way I would probably play this game if I was
you
going to
know
play
what
it on here.
happens to cops who say this is
Because
their
it gets
last
me
case.
over 30 the whole time.
Real
That
funny,
way.
Anderson.
And it doesn't really look that much worse, especially not on the screen itself. On here it might be noticeable all blown up, but on the actual ally screen, nah.
Stairs are out.
But again, that's why I show
You
you
okay to
guys
jump
multiple
down?
things. I'm glad that they
not
can
that
finally unlock a different resolution, because sometimes 720p was a little too low. And I feel like 900p would be a great medium. So that's a cool option. And you still get all the benefits of 120 hertz and adaptive sync and all that stuff too. So you don't lose any of that. Cool, right?
Fucking nature. Gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
You said it, friend. Nah, I like being outside. Like playing games, but I like outside too. But anyway, this is the same spot we stopped, so why don't we go ahead and go move on to the next one. Alright, so now here's 720p base, which brings it down to 480p if you use FSR quality, which I would recommend if you want to stay over 30 FPS the whole time. Now don't get me wrong, there could be some parts way later in the game where we drop under 30 a little, but for my testing, we didn't drop under 30 a single time with these settings. And these are also the settings I use for camera recorded. But right after this, I decided to try native 720p as well. So, before that though, let's just not get ahead of ourselves and go do this. Now, here we go with 720p. But remember, since we have FSR on, it's more like it's 480p upscaled. But we get those FPSs we wanted, or at least that I wanted.
I think I
and
hear
as
someone.
far as I'm concerned, it doesn't look that much
Could be our
worse
deputy.
than 900p. Now, all blown up like this, don't get me wrong, I can definitely tell a little bit of a difference. But on the actual screen itself, I couldn't really tell a difference.
That's just how the cook.
The screen's just too small to make out
Hey,
that kind
over
of
here.
stuff. I mean, maybe if I just shoved it up to my eyeball.
Hey there.
But who plays a game
Agent
like that,
Casey,
right?
Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
Let's see, now in this area, we chill around 33, 34.
Anderson?
All the way up to 36 to
Saga
38
Anderson.
even.
I'll
See,
be
look
leading
at that.
this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that.
All right, let's get through this,
What can
though,
you
so
tell
we
us
can
about the crime scene?
walk our little trail that we were walking down before. But first, we gotta
Were there
skip,
any
skip,
witnesses?
skip it up.
Yeah, couple out-of-towners.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple.
That's real simple, right through there, man. All right, now we just gotta get through that little
Before we get
wall
to the crime
scene.
scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm
I
seeing
think she
the
just goes
clues
in her
clearly.
head from the small amount I understood from this game. This is all basically just a thing she can do in her head. Although, kind of similar to what I do to do math. I was always terrible at math,
Everything
so
we know about
I would
the
always
previous
just
murders.
make a piece of paper in my head and do the math
Worth taking another look.
on paper in my head, if that makes sense.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene.
All right, down to the crime scene. Although we're going to stop at that same spot we stopped at. And like I said in the settings screen, I'm going to try native 720p right after we're done
Hey,
with
Casey.
this before we get on to
You
the
putting
camera
me in
recorded.
charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson.
But this
you're
is
a
what I'm going to use for camera
better
recorded
detective
gameplay.
than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled.
Okay, so you guys know
I
me.
don't
I
wanna
like my
slow you
30
down.
FPS
Are you
plus
thinking
on
of
these
retiring?
handhelds, and this gets me exactly what
You
I
know
wanted.
what happens to
I
cops
was
who
actually
say this is
surprised
their
we were
last
getting this
case.
kind of playability.
Real
Sure, it
funny,
doesn't look
Anderson.
great all blown up like this, but like I said before, it doesn't really look that bad at all on the screen itself.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old. Fucking nature. Gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
I'm the exact opposite. Being indoors too long gives me a headache. Gotta go out and at least go for a walk or go for a drive, mow the lawn, do something outside, you know? Anyway, now let's go move on to native 720p. So last up here, before we move on to my camera recorded gameplay, we're gonna just try playing this at native. Same settings though. And this even might be okay for people, but this still dropped a little under 30, so that's why I didn't just go with a native, which I usually would do if I could. But anyway, let's go get in the game, and I'll show you what I mean. Well, now, here we go, 720p native, and it kind of hangs around 20 to, or 27 to 33 FPS. That seems to be about what it does.
I think I hear someone.
All right, well, let's go on down.
Deputy.
I can go take a look.
But I think down here it drops down to 25 when we're talking to this guy again, and I didn't like that.
Over here.
Like, I'm all right with 27, even 26 if it's only going to be for like a second, but this is a long 26, you know?
To take over the case.
You're
All right, so it's
half
26, not 25. 26 to 27,
Anderson.
29. When you're not moving around, 30.
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. So,
But this is why I'm showing you guys,
What
so
can
you
you
guys
tell
can
us
make
about
your
the
own
crime
decision
scene?
on which one you want to work, and the fact that, and how to run it at the very beginning. I
there
know
any
most people know
witnesses?
how to do that, but
yeah.
some
couple
people don't,
out-of-towners.
so.
I wonder what they were doing sneaking around the woods at night. Not that we
Yep,
have
them
anything
there
against
city folk.
City folk, right, Thornton? But don't worry. Sheriff Breaker took them back.
All right, let's skip through
I wanna
this
see the
and let's
body.
go look at the body.
How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple.
Although, again, we're
Just
just going to
through the-
stop in that same spot. But I'll probably end up getting a little farther once we get to camera recorded gameplay, so at that point, we'll probably walk and finish right at the body.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
All right, let's skip
The
through
mind
this real
place.
quick.
My version of the Mind Palace technique. The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
Ah, much better. After lots of talking, sometimes you
You're
gotta
already hard at work, Anderson.
wet your palate.
Close to cracking it.
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill.
Although
to
I
the
also
crime
feel
scene.
kind of like having a hit. I haven't had one about 2 hours now, so I think I burned one.
Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Real funny, Anderson.
Whew.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old.
Yeah, I always like that. Yeah, so he does just fine. Man, though, that was way too big of a hit. But the dang slide got stuck in my bowl.
Fucking nature. Gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
Whew. All right, though, we've gotten to our stopping spot, so let's switch over to some camera gameplay now. Now let's get ourselves some camera recorded gameplay, and this is just going to be base resolution 720p with FSR on quality, which makes it 480p render resolution, and everything else is just on low. This is the only way you can stay above 30 FPS, and it might not be throughout the entirety of the game, but I haven't seen it drop under 30, at least in this area, and from what I heard, this is the hardest place to run. So. Yeah, very, very playable.
Over here.
And it doesn't even really look that bad when you're on the actual ally screen.
Hey there.
Sure, it doesn't look as crisp or as great as it would if everything was
Sheriff
on
Breaker
ultra,
said you'd be
but
coming by to take over the case.
even on low, this does not look bad on this tiny little screen, at least in my opinion. The only thing I wished we could improve on is the foliage and aliasing
Saga
of
Anderson.
said foliage.
I'll be leading this case.
But if I did that, we would not be getting 30 FPS anymore, guaranteed.
Shoot.
because I've seen it drop as low as 33, so I know if I upped any setting, it would probably
What can you tell us about the crime scene?
start dropping under 30 again.
Were there any witnesses?
And this is also at 25 watts. Obviously, if you're willing to pump the wattage up or use this thing plugged in, you could probably tone some settings up. But again, this is at 25 watts, which is already a little much for handheld mode, but 15 watt mode just does not work very well for games.
Sure, that's
These
real
AAA
simple.
titles anyway.
Just through the hole in the fence.
It's fine for older
down the
titles,
hill
if all
towards
you
the
want
lake,
30, 40
around the old
FPS.
convenience store.
They can even do
Can't
some
miss
older titles at 15 watts,
Everything's been
60,
closed
but
since the
they have to be
area's
pretty
fenced
old.
off. The store, the campground.
Oh yeah, I forgot we can
all of
skip all this. I'm just sitting here chatting away, wasting time. Sorry about that. Alright, let's go through the hole.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far.
And at
Make
least
sure
so
I'm seeing the
far,
clues clearly.
I haven't had any crashes while making this video. Skip.
Mine place. The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
Absolutely. It's always worth taking another look. Continue. So we can go over that. We can zoom, move this around, and get out of that.
I see you're already hardened.
Oh, nope, we don't need a flashlight, though.
Close to cracking.
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled.
So yeah, there's really not too much hope
Are
on
you
even
thinking of retiring?
at the Steam Deck staying above 30 FPS
You know
all
what
the
happens to
time,
cops
but
who
you can
say
still
this
get
is
pretty
their
playable
last
FPS
case.
if you ran these settings
Real funny,
on a Steam Deck,
Anderson.
guaranteed. It probably might just drop down to like 27, 28 FPS every now and again, like right here probably. Because this is still a little bit more powerful, especially when we're at 720p
Stairs
than
around.
the Steam Deck is.
You okay to jump down?
It's usually when you have to put it up to 1080p, that's where it's either just as fast, if not slightly slower. Because 1080p is a hard resolution to run, especially when you're limited by wattage. But yeah, as you guys can see, very playable, doesn't look that bad. Again, would look a lot better if we could turn the settings up, but what do we expect? The fact that it's actually able to play this game at all is impressive. I thought I wasn't even going to be able to test this game.
Too much sky.
Just don't be expecting to play for too long. In the short video here where I think I made like 3
Not a
minutes
bad
and
place
40
to get
minutes
murdered.
per section, we're already down to 50% battery, and it's not like I, spent too much time in the settings screens.
Damn.
Yeah, it's gonna
Should've
rain.
brought an umbrella.
I like the rain. The only thing
You
around
hate-
here that feels like home.
It's great. I hate
think the
nature.
local
Nature
law has a
sucks.
right to
I
put
love the
up a
rain.
They did.
I feel like the guy would just hate rain too, but I guess it makes him feel like home. Oh, I'm walking into a log. It's better than great. It's good. Everyone loves a log. Hope I can hear that dude.
Hey!
Deputy Thornton, I take it.
That's me, at your service, ready to get this case solved. Now the body's behind the store. Come on, I'll show you.
Alright, cool. Alright.
So, FBI, huh? That's so cool. Hunting down psycho serial killers and shootouts with the mob.
You forgot the UFO cover-up.
I was gonna say, man, this guy gets all his FBI information from watching movies, it
You
seems.
guys hiring?
Let's just see this body, shall we?
Well, they claim this guy was pretty stupid, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised.
Now this is the scene of the crime. We found him on the table. We didn't touch nothing, you know, procedures and stuff.
Yeah, that is
Thanks,
one
Deputy.
dead person. Yes, indeed.
Okay, let's start by examining our guest of honor. Does this fit the MO of the
But
previous murders?
I think that's plenty of camera recorded gameplay, so why don't we go ahead and go wrap this video on up now?
Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for Alan Wake 2 on the Asus Ally. I'm happy we were actually able to play it this time. Now, it doesn't get the most playable FPS when you have a base resolution of 1080p or even 900p. But if you're willing to drop it down to 720p and you use FSR quality, you can get over 30 FPS the whole time. Now, of course, it doesn't look great all blown up, but it doesn't really look that bad on the actual Ally screen. And keep in mind, this is only at 25 watts. If you upped the wattage to max or plugged it in and put them up even higher, I think it can go way higher than 30 if you plug it in, then you can probably get very good FPS with maybe some higher settings here at 720p, but I still don't think you're gonna have playable FPS on those other resolutions. Obviously, you can give it a try, but on this channel, I treat this thing just like I do the Steam Deck, as a handheld, not something that has to be plugged in all the time. But that's just me. And then I still argue even the 25 watts kills your gameplay time to just a little under an hour. You get like 50 minutes to maybe an hour at this kind of wattage. And at 30, you're looking at like 35 to 45 minutes on the games I tried. So that's why I just didn't even bother with that in handheld mode. But anyway though, I'm blabbing and going off and on tangent here. So why don't we just go ahead and end this video? I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out guys.